want you to know that
I'm here for you forever.
Let me hear you. Come on. Come on. Louder.
I want you to know that I'm here for you forever. Black
Come on. One more time. Come on.
love
I
you.
need to hear you.
I never tried to hurt you. I want you to know that I'm here for you forever. Black brother, strong brother, there is no one above you. I want you to know that I'm here for you forever.
Yeah. Good evening. All right. So let's go ahead and get this started. I'm just really excited to be here this evening. And the reason why I'm so excited is that you have the opportunity to make a difference. It is your time. It is your moment. And so when I was at Michigan State and becoming a Jedi, I went and developed these 6 Thomas principles. These principles were so important to college adjustment, retention, and graduation for African American students. And then I applied those principles to working with women and working with men and working with different diverse groups. And so there's an old saying that says, you don't teach a man, to go get fish or give them fish, but you teach them how to what? You teach them how to fish. And you teach them how to fish because then they can eat what? Forever. Well, you know what? We're changing the whole game. We're changing the whole game because that's old school. It's kind of like a corded telephone. Today, we're going to be talking about how do you make water. See, because if you know how to make water, you can change the whole game. Change the whole game, meaning that you can make flowers, you can have as many fish as you want to, you can have seaweed, you can do whatever you want to. So I want to start you out with these principles, and then we're going to go on a little bit of a journey. So the first principle is identity development. Identity development is about your values. Who are you? Psychological support. When times get rough or you need that motivation, that mind is the most important thing. Because on the back of the buses back in the day, it says a mind is a terrible thing to what? Yes. Psychological social support is about how do you work together and come together. Academic support is the fundamental basis of skill development. If you don't have your math, reading, writing, all that stuff together, it's very hard to live a good life. Am I correct? All right. Sense of belonging, making sure that you feel like you're a part of something. When you don't feel like you belong, you feel lost. And then lastly, leadership development. The thing that's critical here today, much of what I'll be doing is preaching to the choir. So it's about developing your leadership skills because there's a lot of brothers out there that need your love and your attention. So to get this started, I figured I got to take you on a little journey. And so that journey begins with, we're going to have to leave the Marshall Center, all right? We're going to have to leave this place. And I'm going to take you somewhere nice. I just got, because of my grant money, right? You know what I'm saying? I just bought this new vehicle, right? It's kind of hot. All right, so I got to show it to y'all. All right, let's see. Let me find it. Yeah, it's bad, too. It's bad. Yeah, all right. No, it ain't about the kids, bro. So I bought this bus. See, because how many people in here been on a road trip? Yeah, road trip is fun. See, when I was in school, we used to do a little Freaknik, Daytona Beach, and ain't nothing better than rolling up in the bus like, hey! Yeah! So I thought I would get you on this bus, right? Now, see, the thing is that this is not an ordinary bus. This is a road trip bus. So let me take you inside for a second. Ooh, yeah. That's hot, right? Yeah, we're going to have a good time, right? So on this road trip, since I'm going to be driving, all right, I had to add, got to have my little hat, so y'all can have a good time. I'm not going to wear my hat the whole time, right? But, all bus drivers got to have a hat, okay? So this is my bucket hat. And so when you're on a road trip, everybody knows that they got to get their music right, correct? All right. So let's start off with our... Yeah. I wrote these words. I wrote these words. See, you know when you go on your road trip, right? Everybody looks at you and looks like, yeah, get it, yeah. And then you know what? When you're riding the bus, you gotta be like, lean to the right, yeah. And you gotta hit that curve, lean to the left. Woo! Woo! Yeah. So, as you can tell, I only know part of the words that go in here. All right? So, we're coming close to our destination. And so where we're going is New York City. Everybody knows about the Big Apple. How many people have friends from New York? All right, I talked about this identity thing, right? If people don't say anything else, I remember when I was going to school on the East Coast, and people say, where are you from? Brooklyn, right? Now, if you were from, like, Polk County, all right, okay, you'd be like, but you say, where are you from? You'd be like, New York City, all right, or you'd be like, D.C. So we headed to the Big Apple, all right, Times Square, okay. So the reason why this becomes so important because identity development is so critical about who you are. It's so funny because when you meet cats from New York, they just think that they walk on water. They could be having a hard life in New York. They get down to Florida, yeah, you know, I'm from New York. Yeah, you know what I mean, yo? Yeah. Know what I mean? That's how they, know what I mean? So what we're going to talk about is first this whole thing about identity development, all right? It starts with about who you are, where you want to go, especially as a black male. So you see a diversity of black males surrounded around Colin Powell. The one beautiful thing that I just love being black. I love being black. And I really didn't realize it until my freshman year of college. And the sister rolled up on me. She's like, you got the prettiest skin. I was like, for real? See, because back in the day when I was in high school, cats used to have all the jokes. Yeah, you know, you so dark you can't see yourself until you smile at night. And so those things, you know, it's about valuing who you are. See, many people laugh because they remember the jokes, right? Okay. So this whole thing about identity. And you know what's so good about being a brother? See, it's something, you know, it's how we walk. So when the president got into office, right? When the president got into office, right? That brother was like, yeah, he had that old Denzel walk, you know what I'm saying? Now none of this, hey, how you doing? Nah, that brother was cool with it. Yeah, brother brought in a basketball hoop, right? And then, you know, anytime that you get up there and start singing Al Green, I'm so in love with you. Yeah. So when you talk about being black and you talk about being male, there's a certain style, there's a certain flow. The challenge with sometimes being a male, not even getting to the blackness piece of it, is how we show our emotions. And we'll talk about that. But identity is so critical. Another place where it's identity is that there's this whole thing that goes on between men and women. And one of those things is that black men are always taking a risk. I talked about this in one of my classes. That risk of rejection. Yeah, you know how you see that sister on the side? Like, yeah, she's looking tight. You're talking to your boy, right? Yeah, she's looking good. So, once you go over and talk to her, nah. I ain't got my flow right. Yeah, because you're worried about that moment, right? When you walk over to her, hey, how you doing? You know what? I'll give you a real example, right? Freshman year. Y'all remember Guy? Okay, well, there's this fine sister, and I didn't know it at the time, but she was messing with one of the guy fellas, right? And so I walked over there, and all my friends, right? You always got to have your boys with you, right? And I said, I'm going to go talk to the old girl. So I'm walking, and it's in the middle of campus, right? And I was like, I'm Nate Thomas, right? From Illinois. And I was like, hey, how you doing? My name is Nate Thomas. She said, you said like it's supposed to mean something. And I was like, and my boys were there, right? And so they're like, oh! So, you know, right then and there, my ego said, whoop, boom, and fell on the ground and cracked, right? that day, right? So as you get older, you know how to play that stop. You know how to play it off with a nice joke. Oh, come on, baby. Why you got to talk to me like that? Just have a conversation. Okay? So, you know, as a male, we're always looking to be put in positions where we need to be, as Angie Stone, strong brother, confident brother, but that takes time and it takes maturity. And one of the pieces that go along with that is this whole thing dealing with psychological support. Because at the end of the day, it is so chaotic. And you can get overwhelmed. See, because if you're from Tampa or from the South, when you see it, you're like, oh my God, there's so much going on. Sometimes our lives are like that. All right? And when you think about men and you think about male oppression and how men have, have troubles, crying. I know the sister said, well, just talk to me, baby. What's bothering you? The brother be like, no, I'm going to suck it up. Knowing he just lost his job or, somebody just was treating him wrong. This whole psychological piece is so important for men and really important for black men because when you think about the struggles that we've been through, I can't believe, right? When you look at the history and you look at Roots, I can't even watch Roots anymore because you're like, man, brother's getting whipped. And I was like, oh, could Nate Thomas? Nah, just take me out, brother. Don't hit me with the whip. So psychologically, all that challenge, all that damage. So when you look at brothers hanging their head, brother, like it's so rough. Sometimes we have to learn how do we communicate our feelings to other people. Because when we learn how to do that, you turn that into motivation and you look forward and you look up. Because at the same time, we got to figure out what inspires us to move forward. What's key as well is social support. We know on one level that brothers are looking to be in groups. That's why brothers look to be in gangs, right? Because they want to find that connection. So when we think about here at the university, we know some of the statistics about students dropping out. We have to figure out how do we set up social support groups in order for individuals to be successful. Next is the academic and professional development. This is standard. If you don't have your game tight, it's hard to go anywhere. If you don't have your game tight, it's hard to go anywhere. So the academic piece is the basic, but the professional development is key. How do you exist in the real world and be a leader? And many times, that's just not dealing with the face value of the job. Many times, it's dealing with how do you interact with other people? How do you deal with conflict resolution? We're dealing with conflict on a daily basis. Daily. So, we have to be able to develop the skills in order to deal with the academic and professional development piece. Then what becomes key is this sense of belonging. All of us want to belong. One of the reasons why students drop out is financial, all right? But there's another piece that cats don't feel like they belong here. And when you don't feel like you belong, what happens? What happens when you don't feel like you belong? You leave. You drop out. So it's important that we create an environment where brothers can love each other, take care of each other, and pull each other up. The key piece